Let's talk lawnmowers. And I am joined in the studio by Mr. Lawnmower. That's what we're calling you now, Clive. Clive Gravett began collecting lawnmowers a few years ago now, and now displays some of his collection at the Museum of Gardening within the South Downs Heritage Centre in Hassocks. How many lawnmowers have you got in total?
Well, I would think now it has reduced a bit, but around rough guideline, around 100.
And that's the reduced number. Brilliant.
Yes, yeah.
Why? That's the only question I have, really. Why? What's the fascination?
To teach people about the history. I've researched the history, which hadn't really been done before, and they're in a museum and people can learn how the lawnmower developed.
So how did they develop?
They were invented in 1830 by Edwin Buddin down in Stroud in Gloucester. And he was working on machinery for the woolen industry, a nap cutting table that took the little bobbly bits off woolen cloth, and it had a cylinder that ran across the table. Oh. And we like to think he looked down through the window and saw men with scythes cutting the grass, looked back at the table, had the light bulb moment, I could make that cut grass. And that's exactly what he did. He patented the lawnmower in 1830. And it's very similar to those seen today. Push mowers, it's very similar operation.
Ah, clever man. And what are the rules when it comes to mowing your lawn? Because I had no idea that you can actually get fined if you start your mower up too
before
early.
A certain time. But that is obviously creating noise. It's not just lawnmowers.
Right, yeah.
It could be sort of dogs barking or using other machinery. It just is the noise regulations.
You can't be doing it at 3 a.m, no.
Yeah.
Is 8 a.m. too early? So this is the message that I saw one of these local Facebook groups. People do like to whinge on those groups a little bit, don't they? They do like to vent. And someone was saying they'd been woken up Sunday morning, 8 a.m, next door neighbour mowing the lawn. Is that unacceptable, Clive?
Well, we could look at what is the best time for the lawn and the mower.
Okay.
Let's not consider the neighbours to start with. Let's go back 200 years before the mower was invented. The lawns were cut with scythes. Now, the best time to use a scythe to cut grass was when the dew was on the grass, because the grass was upright, it was heavy with dew, and stood up to the scythe blade.
Makes sense.
So you mowed your lawn before dawn or after dark. So that was the best time, but obviously it was a scythe, not a motorised piece of machinery. When the mower was invented, it was a revelation that you could now mow the lawn any time of day. You didn't have to get up in the middle of the night to do it. But it's best to mow after the dew has dried, because mowers, they get clogged up with wet grass. It doesn't throw into the grass box properly.
Yeah.
So I would say when the dew has dried up.
Right.
But obviously in the height of summer, the dew may well have gone off by sort of 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. But certainly this time of year, I've seen it's still around sort of 10-ish. So that's one thing to look for when the lawn is drier.
And then I suppose if it is sunny, you don't want to be out there in the middle of the day, mad dogs and Englishmen and all that. So maybe there's an argument that, earlier the better. Or maybe late evening. But then people are out enjoying their gardens then as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I don't think you'll never satisfy everyone.
You'll never keep everybody happy.
No.
When you mow your lawn, are we talking stripes?
Not really. I do have a bit of a wild lawn.
Right.
So it's I do support No Mow May. And I think we should, look at conservation and, let the dandelions and daisies flower. So I've got a lawn that sort of, in a way, looks after itself. I'll mow it sort of probably only every 10 days to 2 weeks.
Perfect. I'm going to follow in your footsteps. I'm doing this for nature. Right. I'm not doing it because I'm a lazy whatsit. I'm doing it to support the planet and the environment.
You're not doing it to help your neighbours, are you?
Is there any better smell in the world than the smell of freshly mown grass? I don't think so.
No, that's interesting. If you like, you could say the smell is the lawn or the grass's blood after you've cut it.
You've put me off now, Clive.
When you cut grass and other plants, they give off what they call GLVs, which are sort of an antibiotic that actually helps to keep out bacteria and repair the wounds you've actually caused.
Oh.
Now, this smell also is apparently some scientists say, a signal to other plants to push their nutrients back down to the roots because danger is on the horizon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that is this smell we get. And we think the reason people like it is the smell is similar to ripe fruit and vegetables. So if we go back to, primitive times when we was out looking for our food and we probably used our sense of smell to find food, we would smell out sort of a nice red, ripe berry or
that
vegetable.
Makes sense.
That's why it could be a smell that we enjoy. But who knows?
And do you have a mower that you just push, or have you got to sit on one?
No, I haven't got to sit on one. I've got a modern rotary mower. I do test out some of our vintage mowers on the lawn when I want to see them working. So we do have sort of mowers dating back to 1870s in the museum.
Oh, wow.
And also, if I could mention, this year we have on loan the oldest lawnmower in the world.
Okay.
There are only 2 original budding mowers. One is in the Science Museum. That's from 1850. And another little-known one, owned by Ransom's Jacobson of Ipswich, is actually on loan to me for the year.
And in Hassocks, of all places.
At the moment, it was there until the beginning of May. It's on show at the British Library at the moment.
Okay.
In their Unearthed the Power of Gardening exhibition, then coming back to Hassocks in the middle of August, and it will be there for the remainder of the year. And that is the oldest lawnmower in the world, the one.
Fabulous. Clive, you are an expert on lawnmowers. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. And the oldest lawnmower, as Clive says, will be back in Hassocks at the South Downs Heritage Centre in August. I'd love to hear from you on this. What are the rules when it comes to mowing your lawn? When is it too early?
Text 81333.
Starting your